Welcome back to Ice Bath Sports. I'm Griff.
I'm Matt.
And today we're back with our second mock draft of this season. This should be updated as of today, which is the 29th. It's going into week 13. And Houston's still number one on the clock. I'll start it off with this one. We'll alternate. I'm going to go with Bryce Young, number one overall now. After watching Ohio State against Michigan, CJ Stroud just didn't look great, and I think Bryce Young right now might be the clear-cut number one. Not sure yet. We'll see. Could go either way, but that brings us up to Matt with the Bears.
Yeah, so the Bears, they have their franchise right now in Justin Fields. He's shown a lot of good flashes, so they don't need quarterback. CJ Stroud is off the board. That brings us to the best player available, which is Will Anderson Jr. Out of Bama. He comes off the edge and fills a dire need of the Bears here at number 2.
Yeah, I would like to say we are not doing any trades today. We will have mock drafts later on with trades, but right now we're just going to go standard all the way through. That brings us to Detroit at number 3. And, you could cut Jared Goff and save a lot of money, which I think they will do. And if they do that, you got CJ Stroud sitting right here. Got to go CJ Stroud at number 3 to the Lions here. I think it's a great pick. If they end up with CJ Stroud at 3, I think they're very happy with that.
Brings us to Seattle at number 4. Seattle, I don't know. I don't know what they really need. You got Jalen Carter here. He's a great interior D lineman, but interior D linemen aren't really as valued as someone like Myles Murphy, who is off the edge. Then you got Keely Ringo in the secondary, but their secondary has a lot of young talent. Their quarterback situation, I think this is a little high for Will Levis. Although I do think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. I think they have their guy right now in Geno Smith. I think you got to rock with him going forward.
Yeah, how could you not?
I feel like Myles Murphy is the pick here off the edge for Seattle out of Clemson.
I like that a lot. I would have gone Murphy as well. That brings us up to Carolina at number 5. They need a lot.
They do.
I think quarterback's definitely in play. I know we never really got to see what Matt Corral could do. I mean, he went down early. They've had 3 different starters this year in Baker, Sam Darnold, PJ Walker.
Yeah.
Levis could be in play here. Hendon Hooker, I doubt he's in play anymore. He just suffered this season-ending injury, the ACL tear. He's also going to be 25. I don't think that's a good fit here anyways. Could always use an edge rusher on the opposite side of Brian Burns. But, you know what? I think Will Levis makes the most sense for Carolina here.
I agree with that.
I'm going to go with Levis. You've got a guy that just falls to you at number 5. If you are picking at 5, I think you have to go quarterback here. I think Levis is the play.
I could see the argument for a guy like Anthony Richardson, but I think for what Carolina needs right now, I think Will Levis fits that mold.
And I wouldn't be shocked if Richardson goes back to school.
You're right. That brings us to the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 6 with the New Orleans Saints pick that they got in that trade last year before the draft. The Saints traded for 2 of Philly's 3 picks.
Yeah, they did that swap, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they planned on this happening, but
no. And Philly has really had struggles stopping the run this season. You got Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave, both with 1 year left in their contracts. Jordan Davis has been hurt, but you have one replacement for one of those guys. I think you get your second replacement here. You get somebody else that can stop the run in Jalen Carter out of Georgia. I think he's a good fit here to stuff the run.
I think Carter just feels like an Eagle.
Yeah.
Pair him up with Jordan Davis, that's just scary.
Right.
That brings us to the Cardinals at number 7 in our last mock. I believe they were at number 9 or 10, and we took Bijan Robinson. I still think running back could be in play just because it's the Cardinals, but this one, I am going to get them the best corner in the draft. Keely Ringo, just an absolute stud at Georgia.
I like that pick a lot.
I think the Cardinals, obviously right here it lists their top need is cornerback, and I completely agree. Byron Murphy's looked really good, but you got to get another corner out there. Joey Porter is also looking like a really solid corner. I like Cam Smith a lot. Christian Gonzalez has been flying up draft boards as well. But Keely Ringo, I still think is the best corner in the draft. Got to go Ringo here.
That brings me to the Green Bay Packers at pick 8. Their quarterback situation is a mess, but regardless of who starts, edge, they could definitely use an edge. Their linebacker situation has been solid. I don't know if there's anyone that I would want here. They could improve on their offensive line a little bit. Their offensive line's been pretty injured. I wouldn't mind taking Peter Skoronski. I think that would be a decent pick for them here. Wide receiver, you have a lot of young guys. Brian Bryce still on the board. It's a toss-up between Bryce and Skoronski for me. I think you got to go Brian Bryce here.
I like Brian Bryce a lot because he can play inside and he can play on the edge.
Yeah.
He's just a versatile guy. Brings us to the Raiders at number 9. We'll see what happens at quarterback there. I don't see them drafting a quarterback.
No.
I think Carr will stick around. You don't need. I don't think you really need another wide receiver right now. You've got Devontae Adams. You still have Hunter Renfrow. Hopefully Darren Waller will be back next year. Well, he should be, but I'm gonna go with a tackle here. You could always use help on the line. Paris Johnson and Peter Skoronski, both my top 2 tackles. Like I said, I still have Paris Johnson higher than Skoronski. And that's going to be my pick. It's going to be Paris Johnson out of Ohio State.
Nice. That brings us to Houston's second pick. So they got their franchise quarterback in Bryce Young. You already have some protection for him with Larry Tunsil. You could use a receiver, though.
I definitely think receivers in play for them.
So you look at the receivers available. You got Quentin Johnston, and Jordan Addison. This is tough for me. What do you think?
I'd be taking Quentin Johnston all day long. He's got height, weight, speed. I think he's everything you look for in a receiver. I think he's definitely the best receiver in this class. I believe he's 6'4", is probably going to run maybe high 4.3s, low 4.4s. He's quick.
It's just TCU receivers scare me.
They do.
And that's why it's between him and Jordan Addison for me. It's a coin flip, but if you think Quentin Johnston, I'll go Quentin Johnston.
I do believe Johnston's the best receiver in this class.
Yeah, give Bryce Young a weapon right off the bat.
I like that a lot, especially he'll be getting Mechie back next year, hopefully.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Jacksonville, another team that could use a receiver, and I'm kind of leaning towards that, but Peter Skoronski is here.
Ooh,
you do need OT.
What I could see them going surprise pick of Michael Mayer. Doug Peterson loves his tight ends. Evan Ingram's on a one-year deal.
Oh, yeah, he is on a one-year deal. That is right.
They need a weapon. Why not get somebody who can be a
I don't see Michael Mayer going this high. I think 11 is a little high for a tight end. Normally, if we were doing another one of these, I would trade down for them.
But we've seen it how valued it is in the past with T.J. Hawkinson, Kyle
We do.
Pitts,
Mayer does remind me a lot of Kittle. Good pass blocker. Good in the receiving game. Good run blocker. You know what? I still think I still think Skoronski's probably a better pick for them. You got Cam Robinson. You still got to beef up that O-line a bit to protect Trevor Lawrence. You got your franchise quarterback. He's looking a lot better. Peter Skoronski's going to be my pick there.
All right, now we got Pittsburgh, who has their quarterback all set in stone.
Do they?
Good receiver.
I guess Pickett's probably the guy. He's looking better.
You spent a first on him. He looks better.
Yeah, especially if they're picking here at 12. I don't think quarterback's really in play for them.
Yeah, you have Najee Harris at running back, so Bijan Robinson out of the question. What isn't out of the question, I think they desperately need some cornerback help. I think Joey Porter out of Penn State, he doesn't have to go too far out of college and beefs up their secondary room.
I like that pick. Joey Porter's a really, really solid pick. That brings us to the Detroit Lions, and they do need a lot of defensive help. I agree with a lot of this over here. I don't want to let that sway my opinion, but I do like Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech a lot. I started watching him a lot more. In our last mock, I don't think we even drafted him, and that was mainly because I don't think either of us watched a lot of tape on him. But he does remind me a lot of, what's his name? Why can't I think of the name? He just went number 1. Trayvon Walker. He reminds me a lot of Trayvon Walker. He could play inside. I see him more as an edge rusher. Get somebody on the other side of Aiden Hutchinson. I think Tyree Wilson's a great pick here. I'm going to go with Tyree Wilson.
Interesting. And that brings us to Indianapolis. At pick 14, they have Jonathan Taylor. Bijan Robinson's still on the board. Not interested in him. I don't know, man. they need a quarterback. Like, they really need a quarterback.
They really do.
I don't think Matt Ryan's the guy. I don't know what they're doing. Like, they're a mess. You got Jeff Saturday at head coach.
I think this is kind of a team that prays that the 49ers are still stuck on Trey Lance and they could snag Jimmy Garoppolo in free agency.
Yeah, I don't
Which
think...
they should have this year.
I think they still find their answer somewhere else for quarterback. Man, their edge rushers look pretty solid. They have Stephon Gilmore in the secondary. They have Shaq Leonard, who has come back. They could beef up their receiver room, though. You know, Michael Pittman.
I do like that.
I got to go Jordan Addison here out of USC.
I think that's a really strong
Give
pick.
whoever you get at quarterback another weapon.
Yeah, I like that. Falcons. Oof. Falcons are a tough one. Could use an edge rusher, definitely. Isaiah Foskey's really good. I do like Nolan Smith a lot, but the injury scares me a bit.
I love B.J. Ojolari.
Me too. I just don't see him going this high. Ojolari is really good, and he could stop the run too, which is crucial. Is this a spot where you think maybe Bijan Robinson? I know they got Cordell Patterson. He's getting
Kyle
up.
Pitts and Bijan Robinson.
He's getting up there in age. I think you get a new head coach in there. I don't think Arthur Smith's the guy. I'm going to go Bijan Robinson. I think Bijan Robinson is one of the best players in this class. I think he'll be an absolute stud at running back in the NFL, and I think this is a great fit for him. I'm going to go Bijan.
That brings us to the Seattle Seahawks' second pick in the draft. They've already gone edge. You beef up their pass rush, but I think you can definitely go linebacker because they need a linebacker.
They're so bad at
I
stopping
love
tight
Noah
ends.
Sewell. I love Noah Sewell.
I do too.
I think I'm going to go Noah Sewell here over Trent Simpson.
I like it.
So Noah Sewell is
I think in our last mock, I took Sewell ahead of Simpson as well. Both of us are high on Sewell. All right, that brings us to the Chargers. The wide receivers really can't stay healthy. They're kind of a mess of a team right now. I think that's another team where they need a coaching change.
Yeah.
But I do think they do need help in the secondary, and Cam Smith is there. I don't see them passing on Cam Smith here.
They've been hurt in the secondary this year.
Yeah, Cam Smith's my pick.
We got New England Patriots. Oh, man. They need a receiver. They need a receiver bad. I think they might be scared to go receiver in the first round because of what happened to kill Harry. But Jackson Smith and Jigba right there, I think he's got to be the pick for them. Right?
I'd be scared if Njigba was on the Pats. As a Jet fan,
yeah,
I think he's a difference maker on offense.
I'm going to Jigba.
I like it. All right, that brings us to the Bucks.
Whether it's Zappy or Jones, you gotta give him something to throw to.
The Bucks. Do you go quarterback here? I don't think so. Maybe though. Do you plan for the future? See, like if Anthony Richardson declares, I could 100% see that. But at the same time, I don't really see him declaring at this point. He's so young. I think another year in college will help him out big time. He'll be an early first-round pick next year. Oof. Isaiah Foskey's here. And an edge rusher is definitely a need for the Bucks. And I don't see how they pass on Foskey. Give me Isaiah Foskey as the pick.
Now we got Washington. And Washington is a team that I'm between offensive line and secondary help here. I mean, you got Christian Gonzalez, who's been flying up people's draft boards, like you said.
Yeah.
Clark Phillips. But I think Broderick Jones still here. You need to beef up that offensive line.
We've talked about it on the pod all year long. That offensive line is really bad.
It's horrible. You got to beef it up with Broderick Jones there.
Yep.
You can get secondary help in the second.
I agree. All right, so we got Baltimore Ravens on the board. I think receivers got to be the play regardless. Mm-hmm. There's a couple guys that I really like, but my favorite is, I'm torn. Jalen Hyatt's been really, really good this year at Tennessee, and he's been flying up these rankings. In our last mock, I don't even know if he was in the top 100 overall. But Kayshon Boutte out of LSU, he just kind of feels like a Raven to me. I think it's a perfect guy to match up on the other side of Rashad Bateman. I think Boutte's got to be the pick for the Ravens here.
Brings us to the Jets. I'm going to let the Jets fan Griffin pick this one.
Yeah, I think tackle's the biggest need on this team. Zach Wilson's not the answer either, but I don't think you're in a position at 22 to draft a quarterback here. I think if they do address quarterback, it'll be through free agency. If not, then maybe Mike White. You roll with him for a year. We'll see. the team's kind of a mess at that position. But O-line still, you brought in Dwayne Brown. He's old. I still think you need another tackle. I don't think George Fant will be back with the team. And, I'm going to go with the same pick that I made in the last mock for the Jets. Jalen Duncan, still one of my favorite tackles in this entire class. I think he's severely underrated. Out of Maryland, Maryland's always got a solid O-line, especially this year. It's looked really good. I talked about it in the last mock we did. Duncan completely shut down Aiden Hutchinson. That's enough about Jalen Duncan. He's my pick for the Jets.
Brings us to the Bengals at 23.
Secondary is bad.
Secondary is really bad. So I think I got to take Christian Gonzalez here.
I think that's a very easy pick right there. I completely agree. Giants,
we got
receiver
definitely last time.
We did, and I don't think it's a bad pick. And I'm thinking about doing it again, but I'm not going to. I do think. I don't know if corner is really the biggest need. You still have Adoree Jackson, and you've got Darnay Holmes, who's looks solid.
Yeah.
Could always use another edge rusher, but they have Ojulari. They've got Thibodeau. I think receiver is in play.
I think
Jalen Hyatt is. I think Hyatt's the play. Josh Downs is also a very solid receiver. I see him going top of the second round. I think Hyatt sneaks into the first round here. I'm gonna go with Jalen Hyatt.
Brings me to the Broncos, who, man, do they have needs?
Yeah, their biggest need is quarterback.
Yeah.
Honestly, it really is.
It really is.
But you trade away Bradley Chubb, I think edge rusher is definitely in play. I don't know what you think, but
yeah, no, I'm with you there. Nolan Smith's still on the board. I got to go Nolan Smith.
Yeah, the injuries still scare me a bit, but at the same time, Nolan Smith before the injuries was looking like a beast.
Yeah, I mean, even David Ojabo went. I mean, he fell to the second, but after that injury, but that was later in the
right. Well, he got hurt at his pro day, so
right. So
yeah,
I think Nolan Smith will make a good recovery.
I agree. Tennessee on the clock. You got to protect. You got to have some protection in up front there. The problem is we took all the tackles that I really like as first round talents. One guy that I was really looking forward to having move up these rankings before we did this mock draft was Olu Fashanu, but he just decided to go back to school at Penn State. Not sure why he did that. I think the Titans, at this point, you wait on tackle. I don't know if they reach for any of these guys.
Who's left there for interior? Hold on.
Osiris Torrance he's an option.
He's definitely an option.
He is an option. I like BJ Ojulari a lot, and I think it's hard to pass on, especially for a team that needs an edge rusher who, like I said, could also stop the run. I saw him make some big plays against Alabama this year. BJ Ojulari is going to be the pick.
Brings us to Dallas. Oh, Dallas. I think they could use a little more secondary help. They have a good pass rush for sure. Trayvon Diggs, you got him back there, but I think they could use somebody opposite of Trayvon Diggs. I think Eli Ricks.
Ooh,
I think
interesting.
I could see him.
The reason I don't like Clark Phillips is because I think he's just a slot corner. Like I don't see a slot corner going in the first round here, especially to a team like Dallas.
I really like Eli Ricks.
I think Eli Ricks is a solid boundary corner.
I think he'll fly people's boards. I think you pair him with Trayvon Diggs. You have that Bama connection.
Yeah,
and they'd make a nice duo.
Buffalo on the clock. We said this last time. What do you give a team that has pretty much everything? We took Jahmyr Gibbs last time, and I kind of want to stay away from doing the same thing. I like Blake Corum a lot. He's just an absolute beast. But you know what? I'm going to make an interesting pick. I'm going Michael Mayer.
I was thinking the same thing.
I'm going Michael Mayer. Dawson Knox, I think, is a really solid tight end, but he's just not utilized in the offense at all.
No.
And I think Mayer kind of fits the mold of more what they're looking for with his blocking ability.
Now, this is a team, the Minnesota Vikings, that desperately needs cornerback help.
Yeah.
I got to go Clark Phillips.
It's hard to not.
Yeah, I mean, he's there, and they're going to take best
their pass defense is terrible.
Pair him with Andrew Booth in the back there.
And here's another team. What do you give a team that has everything? You could always get some O-line help. Wouldn't hurt. You know what? This offense would be so scary with a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs in it. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just so hard to pass on just for the fun of it.
Yeah.
I know they've got CEH. Is he the guy? I don't know. But at the same time, like, you look at the edge rushers, yeah, maybe Jared Verse is a strong pick. Maybe Felix Anudike Uzoma is a good pick. But they took what's his name last year in the first round out of Purdue. Why can't I think of his name?
George Karlaftis?
Yes, George Karlaftis. Just for the fun of this, I'm going Jahmyr Gibbs. Imagine Jahmyr Gibbs in an offense with Patrick Mahomes. That's scary.
You totally took my pick. I was gonna take Jahmyr Gibbs for Philly because I think Miles Sanders is gonna leave in free agency. I don't think we re-sign him, but I don't think a third running back goes in the first.
If there were to be, I think Blake Corum sneaks in. Honestly,
now we definitely do need safety help. So Brian Branch.
Antonio Johnson, both solid ones that I could see going first round.
I gotta go Brian Branch.
I like it. And then, like we said last time, they still included a 32nd pick, so we'll take the first pick of the second round for Houston.
Miami lost their pick, as you know.
Yeah. I'm gonna end it with an edge rusher here again. They desperately need help there.
They do. And
I think Jared Verse is a solid pick for them, and I'm just gonna rock with it.
Yep.
We're gonna save this. We're gonna look over the entire draft real quick. And, this is what we got. Bryce Young. I mean, you guys saw us make the picks. We'll scroll through.
3 quarterbacks, top 5.
Yeah. Which I could see.
Lots of line
and
off the board.
We don't have a fourth quarterback going in the first round this time, which I don't think there will be.
No.
At this rate, Hendon Hooker was on a great track, but the ACL injury is scary.
Right.
We have Levis climbing back up. We had him falling a bit. I think we got him at like 12 last time.
Mm-hmm.
Could definitely see him flying back up. This was probably my favorite pick of the entire draft that you made.
Yep.
Jalen Carter going to Philly is just, I think it's a perfect fit. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. We did just release some merch. The link is in the description for that. Be sure to check it out. Any support will further help this content. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll be doing a lot more mock drafts throughout the rest of the season and throughout the entire off season. So make sure you click that like button and subscribe if you would like to see more. And as always,
stay cool.